Hello everyone, I'm Amod and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video tutorial, we will learn to handle a drop-down created using HTML select tag with Playwright. So we know that a drop-down on a web page can be created in many ways, and one of the popular way is using select and option tags. Let me show you one example. On the Amazon.com, we have a drop-down here, and if you inspect this drop-down, you can see the above dropdown had been created using the select tag. And if we expand this select tag, we see option tags. This option tag has a text between opening and closing option tags. And the same text value you will see when you click here on the dropdown. So we can use this select tag to create a multi-select dropdown as well. Since this is a standard way to create a dropdown in HTML, Playwright also provides a direct way to select a value in this dropdown like Selenium WebDriver. So before we see an example, let's see which method is provided by Playwright to handle select dropdown. So the method name is selectOption. So here we have an example of a select dropdown where we have three options. So this is called visible text or label, and we have the value attribute as well. This option may or may not have this value attribute, and every option tag will have its index based on its appearance. That means for the first option, index will be 0, then 1, and then 2. So basically, this select option method provides you three ways to select a value in the select dropdown. You can use the label or visible text, or you can use this value attribute, or you can use index. It's not necessary to have the value attribute same as the visual text. It might be different as well. So the usage is on the element, we need to call this select option method, and here we can pass either value or label. So here we are not mentioning if it is value or label. So by default, first it will check if we have any value attribute whose value is blue. If not, then it will check for the label. We can specify explicitly as well using the object. So here I am saying that select a label with value blue. And if you want to select multiple options in a dropdown, if it is allowed, then we can pass an array of the desired values to be selected. Under the arguments, you can see either we can pass value key, label, or index. If the select has the multiple attribute, that means the drop down offers you to select multiple values, then all matching options are selected. Otherwise, only the first option matching one of the past option is selected. Next, it says string values are matching both values and labels, which we already discussed here. Then we have one options object where you can pass some keys like force. So we have already discussed that we have something called actionability, which is being considered before Playwright performs any action on a web element. If you click on this link here and go to select option method, so on the top we have some columns like visible, stable, enabled, and editable. So this select option has yes for the visible and enabled. That means before selecting a value, it will check if the element is visible and enabled. And if you don't want select option method to perform that or check that, you can use this force key and set the value as false. Second key is no wait after, which is deprecated, and then we have timeout for the custom timeout, which is by default 0. So let me quickly get a locator. So for the select tag, we have role as combo box, but we don't have any name. So let's use this ID value here, and here I can write await, then page dot locator, and let me pass the ID. So hash and pass the value. So once we have the element, we can use select option method. And first I'm going to select by visible text or label. So I will copy this and paste it here. Let me quickly run this program and see if it selects, which we can see in the browser. This time let's provide the value 3. So as I've already said that Either it will check for the value or label. So with the label we have already tried. This time we are trying with value attribute. So you can see it has selected the option where value attribute has a value 3. But if you want to explicitly mentioning what kind of value you are passing, then we can use an object where we can use the key like value. So here I'll pass the value as 2. Let's quickly run it and you can see value has been selected. Similarly, you can use index. So index will start from 0. Let me select 2. Let's rerun it. So you can see test is passed, and if you go to browser, you can see value has been selected. But do you know that after selecting the value, this method returns an array of those selected values. For example, if I use let selected value here and log this, let's see what it prints. So you can see value has been selected in the drop down, and if you go to VS Code, we can see it has written 3, and this 3 is basically the value of attribute value. Here I am using index 2. So index 2 means this option, and for this option we have the value attribute as 3. But if you don't have the value attribute, then it will return you this visible text. What will happen if we use something which is not available? So let me use label, and in the value I'll pass some garbage, which is obviously not any option in the drop down. Let's see what happens. So you can see it is still running. So basically it is trying to find an option garbage till it times out. So you can see now it is giving error, and if you scroll up, it is giving timeout exceeded, trying to get the locator. It is finding the locator, then attempting select option action. So here it is waiting for element to be visible and enabled, and it is saying did not find some options. So it goes into retry mode, and eventually it will fail after 5 seconds. Now quickly see few examples of multiple select drop down. So here I have created a multi-select dropdown where using control you can select multiple values. And if you inspect this dropdown, here we have just one attribute multiple, and it allows you to select multiple values. So let's see how can you use select option method for this multi-select dropdown. So in this test, I am loading my multiple select dropdown HTML page, and let me get the locator for my multiple select dropdown. So again, here I can use ID, but for this select, we have role as list box, and then we have the name as well. But let me use this ID, which will be quick. So I can use await page dot locator. Let me pass ID. Then I can use select option, same method. But if you want to select multiple values, so instead of passing one value, you need to pass an array. And here you can pass value in quotes. Like I want to select apple, and then I will pass value attribute like cherry. You can see in value C is lowercase, but in the label we have C uppercase. So here I am passing C lowercase, and I'm going to store the value into a variable, and then I can log it. Let's run it. So you can see test is passed, and if you go to browser, you can see both apple and cherry are selected, and it had returned the same options as well. Similarly, if you want to use keys, then within the array, you can pass objects like index 2, then comma, another object, maybe label apple. So basically, I want to select one value using index and another value using label. Let's run it. So again, it is selected apple and cherry. And the same, it is logging on the console. Suppose we pass something wrong value here. Let's run this and see what happens. So it's waiting, and if you go to browser, you can see it has not selected any value as of now. And if you go to console, it is timed out and it is giving timeout error. So it is waiting for the locator and finding it as well. Then it is trying to attempt select option action. Before that, it is checking element to be visible and enabled. Then it is logging did not find some option. So first of all, it is checking all the options are present. Then only it is going to select. That's why we don't see any selected option in the dropdown. And here I want to bring one important point that nowadays we have many advanced UI component frameworks. For example, in the Angular, they provide one advanced way of creating dropdown like mat select. If you scroll down, we have a dropdown here. And if you inspect this, you can see here we have mat select. So if you see any dropdown which has been created using the customized version of select dropdown, then select option method will not work. Please remember that select option method will work only on those dropdowns which has been created using the standard select and option tags. So that's all in this video. If you have any doubt, please comment on this video. And if you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with others. Thank you, everyone.